Let's be real for a second. We all knew Martin Richardson's highly anticipated political fundraiser was going to be a disaster, but I don't think any of us were prepared for the absolute sheer terror that unfolded. We saw the Genoa City guests arrive, we saw the Abbots mingling, and we saw Victor Newman give his grand endorsement. But right after Martin took the podium and warned the room about the impending tornado, all hell broke loose. The lights flickered, the massive crystal chandelier came crashing down, and the country club was instantly plunged into a chaotic nightmare of flying debris and shattered glass. But amidst the screaming and the scrambling in the dark, one character is going to take the absolute worst hit, and that is our girl, Eva Thomas. Can you believe it? Out of everyone in that crowded, panicked room, Eva is the one left in critical condition. The aftermath of the country club disaster is going to be incredibly gruesome and hard to watch. According to the latest jaw-dropping teasers, Eva is going to be severely injured by the flying debris. We are talking about a massive, life-threatening wound to her hip, with blood literally pouring out of her. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, the trauma is so severe that Eva will actually start coughing and vomiting blood. This isn't just a minor scrape or broken arm. This is a catastrophic life-or-death emergency. Eva is losing massive amounts of blood by the second, and if they don't stop the bleeding immediately, she is not going to make it out of that country club alive. In the midst of this absolute horror show, Katherine "Kat" Richardson is going to be the one to spring into action. Now, we all know Kat can be a bit overbearing. She literally just interrupted her grandparents' romantic evening and annoyed Eva earlier by intervening with a reporter, but when the chips are down, Kat proves she has a good heart. Seeing Eva bleeding out on the floor, Kat completely panics but manages to keep her wits about her just enough to scream for Ted Richardson's help. Ted is going to rush over, and as a medical professional, he will instantly recognize the grave reality of the situation. Eva is bleeding out entirely too fast. They desperately need to get her to Garland Memorial Hospital, but navigating a devastating tornado to get an ambulance is going to be an absolute nightmare. But here's the kicker, and this is where the writers of Beyond the Gates are proving they are absolute geniuses. Let's say they miraculously get Eva to the hospital. She is going to need an emergency massive blood transfusion to replace all the blood she lost from the hip wound and the internal bleeding. But guess what? The hospital's blood bank is severely compromised. Are you connecting the dots yet? This ties directly back to the massive plasma ring storyline involving the disgraced former chief of staff, Dr. Leah Whitmore. Because of Leah's horrific black market, red market operation, the hospital's legitimate blood and plasma reserves have been heavily depleted and tampered with. This is the kind of brilliant, interconnected storytelling I live for. The very criminal enterprise that Jacob Hawthorne has been risking his life to take down the same operation that tragically cost our beloved Derek Baldwin. His life is now directly threatening Eva's chance at survival. Because the hospital cannot rely on their standard blood reserves due to the ongoing police investigation into the stolen plasma, Eva is going to need direct, immediate blood donations from living donors. She needs family members or people with perfectly matching blood types to step up right this second, or she is going to die on that operating table. This brings us to the absolute tragic irony of Leslie Thomas. Oh my gosh, you guys, Leslie is about to face her ultimate karma, and it is going to be spectacular to witness. Leslie just spent the entire week parading around town, acting invincible. She crashed Mona's church fundraiser and threw a $100,000 check in her face like it was nothing. She crashed Martin's exclusive gala wearing a ridiculous hooded cape, offending everyone in her path and trying to network with Devin Hamilton. Leslie genuinely believes that her money and her attitude can buy her anything in this world. But as she watches her daughter bleeding out, Leslie is going to experience a complete and total psychological meltdown. For the first time in her miserable life, Leslie will realize that all the money in her bank account cannot buy Eva's life. She can't write a check to fix a depleted blood bank. She will feel an overwhelming, crushing sense of helplessness. And to make matters worse, it is highly likely that Leslie herself won't be able to donate blood. Maybe she isn't a match, or maybe the sheer panic and her own health restrictions will prevent her from being a donor. Leslie is going to be forced to stand on the sidelines, completely powerless, watching the daughter she claims to love slip away. I have to say, while I feel terrible for Eva, seeing Leslie finally humbled by the universe is going to be incredibly satisfying television. Thankfully for Eva, she is absolutely nothing like her mother. While Leslie has spent her time in Fairmont Crest, making enemies, threatening Darlene Hawthorne, and trying to destroy the Dupree family, Eva has actually built genuine connections. Because Eva has a good heart and isn't tainted by her mother's toxic, vindictive personality, she is going to have unexpected allies stepping up in her darkest hour. We are hearing that her hospital colleagues, specifically Ashley Morgan and Shanice Johnson, will be right there in the trenches ready to help. Think about how emotional this is going to be. Ashley and Shanice are currently drowning in their own grief over losing Derek Baldwin. Ashley is completely gut-wrenched, and Shanice just decided to fully commit to Ted because Derek's death taught her that life is too short. These women know the profound agony of losing someone they love to a senseless tragedy, and they are not going to let Eva die if they can help it. They will absolutely roll up their sleeves and offer their blood, but Eva needs a massive amount of blood, and a few colleagues might not be enough. Ted Richardson is also going to step up to the plate. Ted is a natural protector, and he will readily offer to donate his blood to save Eva. But I have a huge theory about this. What if Ted runs into a medical complication? What if his blood type isn't a perfect match? Or what if the sheer volume of blood Eva needs is just too much for Ted, Ashley, and Shanice to provide safely? The suspense in these hospital scenes is going to be off the charts. The doctors are going to be racing against the clock. Eva's monitors will be flatlining, and they will be screaming for more O-negative blood. And you won't believe what happens next. This is where the story takes a massive, beautifully emotional turn. Katherine Kat Richardson is going to undergo one of the most profound character evolutions we have ever seen on this show. Let's look at the history here. Kat has historically despised Eva, and frankly, she had every reason to. Eva is the daughter of Leslie Thomas, the woman who completely wrecked their family dynamics. Leslie is Barbara's daughter, the product of affairs and lies, and Kat has always viewed Eva as an extension of that toxic legacy. Kat couldn't even stand to see Eva talking to a reporter at the party without intervening. But trauma has a funny way of changing your perspective. Surviving that horrific tornado, being trapped in the dark, and watching Eva literally choke on her own blood is going to shatter Kat's icy exterior. In that terrifying moment of life and death, the petty family squabbles, the legacy of cheating, and the bitter rivalries completely wash away. Kat is going to look at Eva and no longer see the daughter of her enemy. She will just see a terrified, dying young woman who desperately needs a lifeline. During this crisis, Kat is going to have a massive epiphany about Nicole Dupree. For the longest time, Kat couldn't understand why Nicole didn't harbor a deep, burning hatred for Eva. Leslie literally tried to destroy Nicole's happiness, yet Nicole always carried herself with such grace and dignity, never punishing Eva for the sins of her mother. Standing in that blood-soaked country club, or pacing the sterile halls of Garland Memorial, Kat will finally understand Nicole's profound empathy. Kat will realize that holding on to generational hatred only poisons your own soul. It is a brilliant, full circle moment for the Richardson, Smith, and Dupree families. So Kat is going to step up. Kat will boldly volunteer to donate her own blood to save Eva's life. I am getting chills just thinking about the symbolism of this scene. Kat is literally willing to mix her legitimate family bloodline with the blood of the affair child to save her. Kat will make it abundantly clear that she does not want a single person to die on her watch if she has the power to stop it. This ultimate olive branch is going to be the emotional climax of the week. Kat giving her blood to Eva is the ultimate act of forgiveness, completely destroying the cycle of hatred that Leslie has tried so hard to perpetuate. Meanwhile, my heart absolutely breaks for Isaiah Hawthorne. Just hours before, Eva was telling him how much she wished they had stayed on his couch and they were planning to go back home together as soon as the speeches were over. Now, Isaiah is going to be sitting in a hospital waiting room, covered in dust and debris, praying that his girlfriend survives. I also wonder how his mother, Darlene, will react to this. Darlene literally just had a screaming match with Leslie at the police station. Will Eva's near-death experience soften Darlene's heart towards her son's girlfriend, or will Leslie's inevitable hospital tantrums make things even worse? Which brings me to my final burning question. If Eva survives this horrific ordeal thanks to the blood of Kat, Ted, Ashley, and Shanice, how is Leslie going to react? Many fans think this near-death experience will finally be the catalyst for Leslie's redemption arc. They think she will fall to her knees, weeping with gratitude, and finally apologize to the Duprees and the Richardsons for all the hell she has caused. But I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think that is a pipe dream. Let's look at Leslie's track record. She is a narcissist to her core. I strongly predict that once the immediate danger passes, Leslie will revert right back to her toxic, ungrateful ways. Instead of thanking Kat and Ted for saving her daughter, Leslie will probably threaten to sue the hospital for the blood shortage. She might even blame Martin for hosting the party in the first place, completely ignoring the fact that she literally crashed the event uninvited. Leslie is the type of person who will absolutely bite the hand that feeds her, and I think her inability to show genuine gratitude will ultimately drive a massive wedge between her and Eva once Eva recovers. What an absolutely incredible week of television we have ahead of us. The irony of the plasma ring causing the blood shortage, Kat's beautiful redemption, and Leslie's ultimate nightmare are going to make for some legendary soap opera moments. I cannot wait to see these hospital scenes play out. But what do you guys think? Will Ted face complications donating blood? Will Kat and Eva finally become true family? And do you think Leslie is capable of actually saying thank you? Or will she remain the villain we all love to hate? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update from Fairmont Crest. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching.